Lilith will be sending the new live stream link on the general text channel. Sending 8 minutes, then transition to
But why again? 10 minutes countdown.
Can we have
transition.
the link,
Transition.
please?
All right, there you go. Hi everyone. We apologize for the slight delay due to some technical issues that we've encountered, but rest assured everything is sorted out now. Once again, this is Franz from Unix, your host today. Here with me is Frosteria and Gab from Unix 2. Later on, we will be getting into each one of the stories that you guys have submitted, and we'll give way to Liz and Sergio. A few of our guests again. We have 5 guilds, including us. So I'll give the floor to Sally to introduce what is Unix. Sally?
Hi everybody. My name is Sally. I'm the head of the community of Unix Guild, and Unix is the future of the metaverse. So easy to say. No, Unix is a platform, and I think that everybody wants to be part of, especially in the future when it comes to NFT games, metaverse, everything around. We have a really awesome upcoming model. There is a learn to earn program. Check out our webpage, unixgaming.org. You have all the information on there, our roadmap, and wherever you can apply all our contacts on it.
Awesome. Thank you, Sally. Sarah?
Hi guys, this is Sarah from Mythos, and with me are the three other guild members from Mythos as well. So we currently the guilds are the biggest supporters of the game and more of discussion groups right now because the game hasn't been released yet. But basically, what we want to do is to drive the community of Devikins, make sure that everyone gets the assistance and help that they need if they have questions. So feel free to hop on to the main Devikins server in Discord and get to know us.
All right. Thank you. As you guys already know, Sarah, thank you. Also, we have Gray from Exalted. Gray?
Gray is
Oh, sorry.
currently in
Sorry about
Internet
that. Yeah,
Cafe.
my internet is acting up, but yeah, what's up, guys? It's Gray from Exalted. I am one of the representatives from the community guilds.
All right. Thank you, Gray. Aquino from Nightcrawlers.
Yo,
And yeah, I hope you
everyone.
guys are having
Oh,
a great night so far.
oh, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
loud and clear.
Good evening, good morning. So I'm Aquino here, your guild representative from Nightcrawlers. So yeah, nice to meet you all. So we are the one of the representative participant of the contest. So hoping you all to enjoy this event. So and hoping that you will hop on our server. So main purpose too, like we will help each other in the future for the future of Devikins. Then we're gonna teach each other and how you can hop on our server to be a visitor. Then you can update yourself for the further information about and updates about the Devikins. So yeah, good night, good evening and good morning.
All right. Good evening and good morning to everyone here who's watching. We also have, lastly, Ivox from Vodiano. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly.
Hi
Ivox?
everyone. Hi everyone. I'm Ivox from Budiana. Aims to help DVK players to more friendly game. That's all.
All right, thank you. So, guys, we are very happy that you guys are watching right now. Please continue watching because we have a lot of story in for you guys because we have giveaways, prizes. Later on, we'll discuss on how you guys can win these prizes by chatting or commenting specific hashtags. Okay. So, without further ado, let's get into the mechanics for the story contest. So to introduce this, We have at least five um, five details here that everyone have followed when creating their story, game lore story. So a whooping 40% to the relevance to the white paper. Both structuring and uniqueness of the story is 25%, and appeal to to the readers and the title, how catchy it is, are both 5%. On top of that, again, we have prizes waiting for you guys. The first prize hashtag, please comment now, hashtag Devikins the game, so you guys can win 5,000 DVK. Um, Sergio, are they required to paste their clever wallet address as well?
Yes, they need to put a Tron address actually.
Okay. All right. So make sure you put your address in the comment section so we can easily give out the prizes as soon as this event ends later. So other than that, we will be giving out an access slot for the beta. And most importantly, we'll be giving out an exclusive turkey NFT for Thanksgiving, guys. So it's just, if I'm not mistaken, Sergio, it's just gonna be there's just gonna be one turkey NFT for the whole game, right?
Yes,
For collection purposes.
a
Okay.
rare, yeah, a
Yeah.
rare turkey
Rare.
head.
Not
Yeah,
for the
Okay.
entire game, just for the giveaway today.
yeah, for the
Yeah.
giveaway.
If
So
there was
it's
only one
there's
in the entire game, that'd be
oh
rarer
yeah.
than an
Yeah,
Eldritch.
yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be a much rarer than Eldritch, guys. So you guys need to stay in this live stream so you would know what hashtag to use once we announce the giveaway for that one. So let's introduce the judges. As you guys already know, Liz and Sergio, they've been with us since day one. Liz has been an awesome community leader. Same with Sergio, helping out ever since day one Telegram. They will be the one reading the giving out brief hypnosis and their feedback to each story that was shortlisted. There are five stories, guys. So I'll give the floor to them to introduce themselves.
Okay, Sergio, would you like to go first since you're the lead?
No, no, you can go first.
Oh, God, you're putting the pressure on me.
Okay,
Okay,
I can
so
go first.
no, it's fine. So hey everybody, I'm Liz. I am the community manager and communications lead for the Devikins Game Project. I'm sure plenty of you guys have seen me on Discord, on Telegram. I'm the one who runs the Twitter account and does all that fun stuff. So for me, I've been in game development for about 3 years now. Been gaming a very long time, and I'm very excited to be on this project. I mean, JRPGs are JRPGs. I mean, we're leading into some pretty cool stuff. So that's something that ticks all my gameplay boxes, and I'm happy to be here. Let's hand it off to Sergio.
Hey everyone, I'm the game designer of Devikins and the project leader. It's an honor to be here today, and I want to thank all members of the community. This community, it's really supportive, and yeah, like the short introduction from Liz, I've been developing games since 2010, so it's been like 11 years, and I've been playing since I was 5 years old, and my favorite genre it's turn-based strategy, so Final Fantasy Tactics for the win. But yeah, RPG it's a great passion of mine as well.
We get the
Yeah.
and
pure excitement from Sally up there. He's like, yeah, dude,
Big
RPGs,
fan.
let's go.
Big
yeah, and we
fan.
have
Final
like
Fantasy
huge
Tactics.
plans for Devikins, but it takes time to build. I'd like just to move on to 23, so we could see all the things we want to deliver to Devikins. Right now, it's just a small step while we're moving forward.
Who doesn't love turn-based RPG? Ever since I was a kid, I was playing all the Final Fantasy games out there. So I'm very confident that Devikins is going to be a great game since there's a lot of gamers out there who loves old school classic RPG turn-based. With that being said, let's look at our program flow here and see if what's up with the next first story. Um, okay, Liz, do we have the first story?
Yeah,
Ready?
we do. So we did a community lore contest, which is what this is a part of. So actually, this was the Unix community, Sarah, the guilds putting this together and setting up a short story contest along with accompanying art. Now, while we didn't get accompanying art for every single story, what we're going to be doing is judging the stories on their own and the art on their own. So we've split the prize pool in a manner. But we're going to be kicking it off with the story that we got from the Mythos Guild, written by Bane, called The Life from Yore. So we're not going to be reading out these full stories, right? Because each of them is around 2,000 words, give or take. So that stream would take us a very long time. So instead, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be giving a synopsis of each story, and then Sergio and I both will give a breakdown of what we felt the pros and cons of each one were, and then as we get towards the end, then we're going to be putting out our judgment and deciding which one ultimately is the favorite story across the board and fits the criteria the best. So once more, the first story that we have comes from Bane from the Mythos Guild. So this was a really cool little story where it was a poem mixed with prose, right? You had a lot of different back and forth. Everything was constructed like a creation myth. You get the starting tale of how Devikins came out. I got some Tolkien, Lord of the Rings-esque vibes from it the whole time, and it mainly focuses on how Devikin were created by the Minth Tree. I think the concept was really cool. I've always loved the ideas of creation myths wrapped in prose and poetry. I don't know if that's because I'm a huge Tolkien fan, but definitely hit me. There were some cool tie-ins to the game and the actual mechanics itself, right? Discussing things in an artistic way. I was a bit thrown off because repetition of phrasing brought it back out. You kept hearing the same thing over and over again. And sticking to the white paper is really good. I know that was a part of the judgment criteria in the story. You can always dress it up more. You can have more fun with the story, right? You don't gotta recite it as is. Sergio, what were your thoughts on that story?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to congrats everyone. It's real nice reading stories and content based on one of your ideas. It's awesome, and checking out people like speculating how those things are. Some matches we have in our idea, others go away, but in a nice touch and things that we didn't think. I really like the structure of Tolkien. Yeah, as you mentioned, Liz, in the Bane's story, and I think you point out the strengths and the weakness of the text.
Awesome. Back to me.
You are more like story savvy.
Yeah, I'm the community manager. I also write the dialogue and good chunks of the lore for Devikins. So if you start seeing quest text soon coming up in the closed beta, that was done by yours truly. Please don't judge me too harshly for it. Not like I'm judging everybody here. The second story comes from Purple Crayon of the Exalted Guild, and the story is called The Awakening of the New Overlord. So this one is structured like a straight-ahead novel, like you'd see in the first chapter of like a light fantasy novel, maybe bordering on young adult, right? And it sets things up as though the lore of the story's first chapter. It discusses the Overlord and their disappearance, along with the upcoming battle with creatures pouring out of the void and coming out of these different gates that connect the islands of the void and pose an existential threat to every Devikin. So there's great prose. I thought the way that everything flowed together was pretty excellent. It was clear and concise, and it was descriptive. And there was this concept of Voyagers, which I thought was really interesting, where there was 5 Devikin that came after the Overlord, and then they were representative of all the ancestries in the game. I'm not personally a fan of narrator quips in stories where you're having the narrator kind of tell you what's going to happen directly through foreshadowing, like, and he did this, but it would be different. So I would say be more adventurous. I liked this story. Push things more, have more fun with your writing, get creative. Sergio,
Yeah.
do you have any
Oh,
comments?
yeah. I think you're covering well. Yeah, and I really like the concept of Voyagers. It kind of give something to explore, like to a whole arc on there, and
Yeah.
we can even aim to think greater than the void only with the creatures.
It
So
makes me
void's
wish I
just
came up
one
with the
fun.
concept myself. I think it's an interesting lore tidbit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to steal it though, as much as I enjoy the idea. The sword. 6 in the morning. My tongue isn't really working for me right now. So the third story comes from Xme of the Nightcrawler Guild. The story is called The Supreme Overlord. Now, this was structured like a television or a play script, but then at times it borders into this manga manhwa-esque approach with sound bites and onomatopoeia with this bang, zip, boom kind of detailing. And the story covers a tale told from father to child, and it sets up the ensuing conflict in the void over who gets to be the next overlord. So I liked the comic book style jumps between dialogue, sound, and description. I thought that was cool. I'm a big comic fan. I mean, like, we're all game developers over here at Moon Labs, so comic books and games tend to have overlap. And then the story leans into this cool tower/tournament style rite of conquest, which is very Dragon Ball, very Tower of God, which I think is awesome as well. But the story doesn't go fully into the movie script stylization that it's going for, right? I think that would have been really cool if you could have jumped into that fully. And then sometimes there's moments that feel like they're a little bit too on the nose, right? Let your story breathe. Have some more fun with it again. Sergio?
Yeah. As I said, you're covering well, and I like this idea. Like it's a good start point, like for PvP, for telling why they are doing that. I think there is a great point there.
I've always loved tournament style stuff. Like, I grew up reading like Dragon Ball, I grew up reading Naruto, I grew up reading a bunch of like Japanese comics, right? So anytime there's the big like, oh, you gotta do 100 rounds going up the tower, I'm like, okay, this speaks to me on a personal level, because I'm 12 years old again reading that story. Our fourth story comes from Kismet 1019 from the Vodianoi Guild, and it's called Tales of the Ancient Void. Now, this one is another creation myth, and this time it doesn't really lean into that kind of biblical creation style that we saw from the other stories. Instead, it goes into the beginning of like Devikin civilization as a whole. So it's more discussing kingdoms and different cultural specialities of each of these kingdoms. And it goes into this cool world building and the lore and the coming battle, again, for everybody to go and take their place as the next overlord. So I thought it was neat that they avoided the kind of standard biblical and very poetic approaches that the other writers leaned into in their story, and instead it was just pure fantasy. And it focused on uncovering a mystery as the beginning of the coming battle, as something to spark it off, rather than solely the disappearance of the Overlord. One thing, unfortunately, and this isn't the author's fault in any way, language barrier issues threw me out of it a bit as a native English speaker, right? There was a bit of back and forth reading things and trying to discern intention versus what was physically written on the page. But a clear downfall was that it felt more like a summarization of events rather than a story. But otherwise, good job.
Yeah. As you said, it was a nice covering of the events, but it kind of felt that you just opened like a Warhammer rulebook, and and you have like explain what happened up to so far to the Imperium. But it's a nice summarization.
Well, that's like another plus 20 points for you. You're a huge Warhammer fan.
Yeah.
I have pretty passing knowledge of Warhammer. I've played Vermintide. I know a bit about 40k. I just think orcs are cool. Okay,
I'm that fan. Yeah. I'm not playing auto topic here.
I gotta get into Warhammer. And our fifth and final story is the community submission from Jamie Manuel, and it is called An Enlightened Void. So the story covers a direct narrator approach, so it's like somebody telling you a story directly, and it goes hard into the grand fantasy. You're getting complex character names, kingdom names, these really vast descriptions of what's happening to spark civilization in the void and the structuring of all the different Devikin hovels and kingdoms and villages. And it waxes on about the warring of the kingdoms, disappearing children, and a bunch of darker threats to the void. I thought it was cool having a straight-ahead narrator approach. It's not often done in stories, it's hard to do, but you did pretty good. Grand Fantasy is always excellent. Grand Fantasy is cool, it's complex, there's a lot going on to it. Detailing the specific characters and their struggles within the context of a grander universe always lends it a lot of depth. One of my issues I had was that the narrator would have often moments where they would say, but I'll leave that story for another time, which used once or twice is okay, but again, moderation is key. And then there was some awkward structuring and jumping between topics in a way that didn't quite flow, that left the story a little bit difficult to follow.
Yeah. My fear was that I was reading the chapter 1 of a bigger novel, so it was just giving the background so it could start jumping on the story, on the advent, really, like from chapter 2. I think it was just like an overview.
Yeah, there was a lot of complexity there. I love Grand Fantasy. I think just trying to package it into the form of a short story, it's really difficult to do.
It is.
It's certainly an undertaking. So Sergio and I went over these stories this week. We read over them. We took our own notes. But I have just been reminded by Sarah that we need to give away 5,000 DVK before we continue with our judgment. So I'm going to hand it off to Francisco.
Yep. Thank you, guys. So all our viewers right now, the hashtag that you guys are looking for is hashtag Unix Devikins. Again, that is hashtag Unix Devikins. I do want to thank all the authors who submitted their stories, and to all the people in the community who supported this venture. Thank you all. You guys have been a wonderful community within the Devikins team. Are we gonna be naming the winners now?
Yeah, I am content to name the winners. Both me and Sergio agree on the rundown in order.
Oh, okay.
So
from the 5th.
We'll start from the 5th.
Yeah.
Jamie Manuel, you are our number 5. I think you did a really cool job. I love Grand Fantasy. I think it's really interesting. I think there's just a bit more to bite off than you could chew. But if we do another lore contest, I look eagerly forward to see if your submission lands on my table. So very quiet round of applause. It's still 6 in the morning, so I can't actually clap without angering all my neighbors. But good job.
Congrats.
Number 4, Kismet from the Vodianoi Guild. I really liked the idea of just detailing the beginning of Devikin civilization rather than going straight into the Overlord, right? And while I know that's a pretty big part of it, right? It's a story, it's art. You get to have fun with it, you get to be more creative with it. So, Kismet, you are our number 4 winner, and I would like to state, by the way, since I forgot to previously, that is 2,500 DVK to both Jamie and Kismet.
Yep.
So, 2,500 DVK to each of you individually as winners. Third in the list I would say, is Xme from Nightcrawler. Comic book scripts are always cool. I think it was pretty clean and structured in a nice short manner, right? You got the information that you needed to present out and efficiently. And that's a hard thing to do in a short story. It's really hard to try to pack all of your ideas into one tiny space. So congratulations to you. You are the winner of 10,000 DVK. So another very, very tiny, quiet round of applause.
Nice.
Impossible to hear behind the microphone. And then we're going up to our runner-up here. And silent drum roll now. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. That's Bane from Mythos Guild. We both love Tolkien, Sergio and I. Poems and prose and creation myths, I think, are really cool. The concept was excellent. I'll always be a fan of a creation myth wrapped up in really flowery language. And I think the way you tied it into the game was pretty interesting, even though you stuck a little bit too hard to the white paper. I think regardless of that, you did very well. And so for you, for Bane, that is 15,000 DVK winnings and 1 rare Devikin. And finally, of course, our winner, that is Purple Crayon from Exalted. I think this was really, really clean. I like the prose. I like the way everything flowed together. While I'm not a huge fan of narrator quips, the story still stood up on its own in terms of the concept of the Voyagers, in terms of the kind of sparking a grander battle with this onslaught of creatures pouring out of the void. I think you did a really good job of tying everything together in 1,500 words and then capping it off with a nice, brief 2-liner poem. I'm a fan. I liked it, and I think if you enjoy writing, keep writing. Keep putting words on the page. I enjoyed it. And so to Purple Crayon, you win 20,000 DVK and a special physical gift that we will coordinate afterwards and have shipped out to you. But otherwise, I believe we have a beta slot raffle to catch up on.
Yeah. So guys, beta slot, it's just gonna be one. Are you ready for the hashtag? Okay, hashtag would be lore contest. Awesome. All right, again.
Hashtag lore contest.
Yeah, hashtag lore contest. Thank you for the folks and viewers there who's very active in the comment section. There you go.
Oh,
Sarah said,
I am so sorry. I sabotaged you. We have just been told that the beta slot is only for the contestants and not for the community. I'm so sorry, guys. That's my mistake.
Oh,
no, that's
yeah.
okay. We can get another one. We can.
You know what? We can do another beta slot.
Yeah.
Keep throwing out the hashtags. That's another beta slot. Go for it, guys.
Sergio is the man. All right.
Sergio's got your back.
So there's gonna be 2 beta slots, one for the community and one for the lore and contestants. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit myself on the head after that.
No worries,
I need a
I'm
large
giving your
baseball bat.
beta slot to them. It's okay.
Yeah, my
I'm
mistake
not-
is your win.
All right. Liz, Sergio, are you ready for the AMA? I got a copy here. I think this came from the community. We have a few questions ready. Lilith will be flashing each one of the questions. Lilith? All right, for first question. Can you give us a sample computation of stat growth with respect to overall affinity? Simply, is there any significant difference between a 40 overall affinity rare and a 41 overall affinity mythic? Will the mythic just have a minuscule advantage and the red flame flex?
Yeah, so the attributes growth based on overall affinity is still being developed, since that's in combat matter with the level up. though each affinity, the individual affinity, that's what guides the attribute. So it depends what you wait for that Devikins. For example, if you're looking for a tanker, so you want to have like a huge HP or a high defense, you're looking more like for a 10 for vitality, for fortitude, than just overall affinity. Speaking in overall affinity, in the start the game, like the early game, there's not a lot of difference since the attributes are not far apart. But as you level up, they're gonna that's the speed of the attributes increase. They're gonna really close, just one overall affinity. So probably not gonna see a lot of difference. But if you're saying where to a mythic, let's say a 39 to a 49, then you're gonna see like a big difference in the end game.
Yeah, because for the affinity, that's the how it's being stats, or how the stats are being added for each level up, right? Okay.
Yes.
For each
Yes.
promotion. All right. Next question.
And you have to remember that you have personality that gives like hidden affinity points. So let's say for clever personality with 40 overall affinity actually is stronger than our basic personality 41.
Yeah.
Because the clever gives 5 extra and the regular ones give 2. So actually it's a 45-ish versus 43.
Exactly. Thank you, Sergio. Are we ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Let's flash it in the screen. Okay. All right. We're just finding the next question here.
It's from Rublos.
You don't necessarily need to flash it on the screen.
Oh, okay.
We can just ask questions and roll through it.
Oh, all right. So, coming from Rublos, will the game have an oracle system?
No, you're not expect that. The only oracle we have is for the NFT price, because we need to know the current supply and the DBK price pegged to USD. That's the only oracle you use. In the game, we don't plan to have that, since it's gonna work in a custody system. So the only time you're kind of interact with the smart contract, it's when you're withdrawing and depositing your DBK and your NFT.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Another question from Clea Canteen. How will the game utilize the play-to-earn mechanism? How do players earn the rewards? And how will the token be burned in-game?
Okay, yeah. I think our next gameplay video, it's gonna touch that on how it's gonna be the earn mechanics for phase 1.
The next, because we have one coming out today.
Oh, yeah.
The one after today's video.
Yeah, the one after today's video, yeah. And yeah, we are gonna touch that. We have already planned like kind of 3 streams for earn in the game. One, it's the mything seed related, that it's gonna be our next video after today's one. And we have the PvP where it would be straight DBK, and we have a third one that hasn't been announced yet, but we are looking forward to implement that. And yeah, the rewards right now it's gonna be DBK and some in-games items. Like, yeah, you guys are gonna understand after today's videos, because there's that item that we mentioned that's a scarce item, and that probably is gonna only be accessible by rewards or really scarce in the shop. And the burnt in-game token, it's the NFT that we're planning. We don't plan to burn DBK because DBK it's a fixed amount. So if you starting burn the DBK, the play to earn pool actually dries faster. So the idea is to circle the coin pool, since we cannot increase the supply.
Okay. Thank you.
But yeah, that's now when the game mature. If you see that we can turn DBK in a real deflationary coin, we go for that. But that's not a promise.
Okay. Um, I do have a personal question, Sergio. I hope you don't
Yeah.
mind. Will we have game passes like per season that we can
Uh,
buy
Like a
DVK
battle
with?
pass?
Yeah, like a battle pass.
uh, today's video is gonna answer that. I think. I think today's video is gonna answer that. So
Oh,
Of
okay.
a
in
sort.
about what 6 hours, 8 hours.
Yeah, you
Set-
guys are gonna be waking up. You
Yeah.
guys are gonna be waking up when the video drops.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna have
I'll
to
wait.
repeat what we just did.
Yeah. But if you still have a question on that afterwards, you can ping on Discord. We can discuss
Alright.
that.
Sergio's the man, guys. You can ping him. He's
Yeah.
very helpful.
No shouting.
Reds. Coming from Reds, another question. When a Devikin is a baby, how much time do we spend per day to keep them healthy? Also, do we pay gas fee in order for them to become an adult once they finish growing?
Okay. Yeah. So, how much time? We didn't sum up, but the idea is that you go to the game once a while and play the game. Depends how many dev kids you're like taking care of at the same time. We have some the teams play the alpha test, so and that's why I said Devikins it has to work as a mobile game. It doesn't work as a PC game because you rely pretty much in notification. So the cell phone reminds that the training ended. Your Devkin needs some of the needs slow. Uh, so I'd say it's small sessions during the day, but many sessions.
Mhm.
And yeah, in the day I don't know. It could be like 1 hour sum up at the end of the day, 2 hours. The idea is that you go in doing sessions in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You do your strategy based on the needs and base the stats where you want to increase in
Yep.
the training gameplay.
For the viewers there, I think Liz have explained this in the video on the game trailer, if I'm not mistaken, right? The video will show how the Devikid are being trained, how long, for how long. You can
Yeah.
watch that in the Devikins YouTube channel.
And the
So,
second part,
yep.
there is no gas fee related to become an adult. Actually, it's an automatic system. You hatch your embryo, it becomes a dev kit, and then you have a span of time. Right now, we are playing with 7 days, so 7 days you have that as a kid, and then they grow up to adult,
Mhm.
and that's automatic. You don't have to pay fee for that. Any
Okay,
gas fee.
thank you. All right. One question from Cogs Saito. Will procreation be available when the or sorry, let's go with
Actually,
Chill Boy first. Chill
yeah.
Boy, is there another token that that we can earn inside of the game?
Not today, only DVK as of this moment, but we are not set. That's the only. It's that for Devkins, and that's it. We could see new tokens dropping in the game as it evolves.
Yep.
Right now it's just DVK,
Yeah,
maybe, but
The future.
don't
Yeah.
write it down, right?
yeah.
All right. So let's go back to Cogs Saito's
And when
question.
you say token, you have to remember that NFT is a token as well. So
Mm-hmm. It is. It is. Will procreation be available when the game is released? What token is used in procreation?
yes, you'll be available. You're showing off in today's video. The token used is DVK. DVK is the main utility of the game, is the coin of the game, and along one item that's gonna be presented today.
Mm-hmm.
But
All
yeah.
right. Another question from Arnie. What are the function and effect of genes, ancestry, and personality in-game and on the Devikins attributes? Does the game also have synchronized buff or debuff effect? For example, if two Devikin with the same ancestry or personality are on the same team, will their attributes increase and vice versa?
Okay, yeah. Personality, it does a bit for the training gameplay. Genes, ancestry, and personality, they are gonna play they're going to be more relevant to combat, which we have a foundation, but you're going to start really dishing out that and when become January, because right now we are fully focused on phase one. We have almost all the mechanics done for that, and but we do have some idea how they're going to play with the combat. So yes, they are not just visual things.
All right.
Yeah.
Question from Aure. What would be the benefit or advantage of having higher tiered Devikin, especially considering Mythic, as the rarity is quite low? One would assume they have an advantage over others.
We kind of answered that in the
Yeah.
first question, I think. I mean, like, stat growth is stat growth. There's always going to be a difference in terms of scaling, I think, is definitely where it shows. But, I mean, we have plans to create, like, a Pauper League, stuff like that. We want to make it so that you don't have, like, maybe you have a team of pretty much all, give or take, 25 OA, and you go into a match and some guy walks in, he's got 47. We don't want that to happen, right?
It's gonna be
That's not
overkill.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's overkill.
But yeah, don't be sad with your comments. We have some ideas how we can make the utility of them. One nice idea we have, it's like a PvP competition where you have points, max point to your team. So let's say you have 100 points in affinities to build a team. So you could split to 4 25 OA fighters. We could bring 1 Eldritch and 3 weaklings, around like 15 OA. So yeah, we have this strategy. It doesn't need that, or you have all full Eldritch to be competitive or not, because you have these different streams to give utility to a broader variety of Devikins.
Yeah. I trust the team that they will be able to put this system in place, so it will be fair to everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also think we
Rich.
missed a question from Bang Nakang.
Oh yeah, Bang Nakam. Okay. So
Did you want to ask it, or I can read it
Yeah,
out
yeah.
loud since I very
You-
suddenly took over your stream?
No worries, Liz. You can go ahead.
So he asks, in the procreation process, is there a significant difference in the end result if the Devikin being used for procreation has large OA differences? Like, say you put in like a mythic and like a common.
Yeah, it does. So the way procreation works, when you're breeding, we have 2 source or 2 parents. We kind of address both of the source and the parents. There's a rule that you can get a rarity. The offspring rarity can be +1 of the lowest rarity. So if you're breeding a mythic and a common, the highest rarity the offspring can be is an uncommon, because it's +1 rarity from the lowest rarity. If you're breeding too rare, you can get a mythic because it's too rare, +1 rarity. So if you wanted to get a Eldritch, you have to breed 2 mythic to get the Eldritch. So it's a nice way of building up with procreation towards your Eldritch path. So we can start with commons, breeding uncommons, and uncommons breeding rares, rares breeding mythic, and mythic breeding Eldritch.
Yeah. Thank you. Sergio.
But that's not guaranteed, because it's based on the mix and match of the affinities. So you do have good like matches and bad matches. For example, if you have 2 Devikins with overall affinity 10 in one same affinity, let's say vitality, there is a high chance of getting a 10 vitality for the offspring, but you cannot get 10 for the others if they don't have, unless you have a mutation chance, but that's by chance. So if you're trying to increase the chance of rarity, probably bring you 1 parent with overall affinity 10 in vitality, the other in power, then we have a chance of have a Devikin with 2 overall affinity 10. So we do have good and bad matches there.
Yep. Personally, I think this would help the economy's sustainability in the long run. With that, yeah. Next question from Cyborg. Do Devikin each get skills or abilities? If yes, how many, and are there unique or special moves?
Cool. Yeah, it's combat, but yeah, we mentioned before that yes, Devkins. We plan to Devkins to have skill or abilities. They are kind of the same. They are what you activate in the game in combat. They are be like Pokemon moves, so you can equip and unequip that. So that's not gonna be inside your Devkin because we thought that with that we can release new skills without making your Devkin uh, useless after if you're launching like new skills that are better than the season before wouldn't require to buy a new roster of dev keys because that's not attached to your dev key, so you just remove your skill and equip the new one.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah.
That's much even better. So next question from Lac Bayero. How can we guarantee, or sorry, Sapien,
Sapien.
Sapien,
Yeah.
yeah.
Keep
We're
jumping
aiming-
ahead there. You're really eager.
Sorry guys, I have a migraine right now.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sarah has a sore throat while I have a migraine.
We're just getting sabotaged today
Yeah.
I know,
by our
right?
own bodies.
Sapien, regarding upcoming hard minting based on testing using DVK, does it only use DVK? Do we need to add TRX? It's on Tron.
Yeah, so it needs a bit of TRX because that's for the transaction, right? Is the gas fees of transaction. You don't need TRX if you do have energy, stock energy from freeze TRX. But the fee itself, it's in DVK. And we are going to use the MA to announce that they are releasing today. Just after the MA, we are going to put a visual guide how to do that inside the inventory. But yeah, you use DVK, you might use TRX or just energy for these to send the transaction.
All right. Thank you, Sergio.
Okay.
Next question from Lac Bayero. How can we guarantee that the Devikins server is ready for large player capacity? This is a problem a lot of new crypto games face.
That's one the reason we are starting the closed beta with like a few players only. We are aiming around 150 base the teams and the all invites. And we are after the first shop that we had a huge issue with the scalability. We came closer to Clever, so they are like they have many years of experience in these systems, and we closed the relationship, yeah, and we've been like they've been helping us a lot of systems. We are revamping parts of your back end of the game to make that more scalable. And that's why we're starting small and we're increasing to check where you have our weakness and we improve that. So I think your guarantee it's having this ongoing growth, controlled growth for the beginning, and then we make sure we have the capacity to support all the players the game you're going to receive. But yeah, I want to say that we learned our lesson on that. So you're
Okay.
way more, yeah, attentive to that.
Thank you, Sergio. For our viewers right now, I know you have been waiting for the next hashtag. All right. The next hashtag is gonna be uh, hashtag Devikins Thanksgiving. Do we have the NFT for that? So, guys, again, like what Liz and Sergio mentioned, there is just gonna be only one turkey NFT in the game. All right, this is much rarer than the
There's not
elder.
just gonna be one.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we've already seen a bunch of people post their
Yeah.
turkey polls in
Yeah.
Discord.
I
Okay.
think from yesterday we have about 9, but it's too scarce because they're going to be in the pool just until Monday. So yeah,
Let's flash it in the screen real quick so the viewers can see it. Yeah, all right, there you go.
That good old turkey NFT. That good old gobble boy.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Again, the hashtag is hashtag Devikins Thanksgiving. All right. Guys, I'm just gonna be taking a quick break. I will have Frost and Gab lead the hosting for the next few questions. Gab, Prost,
Hi everyone.
hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Can you hear me?
hey.
Be a second batch of closed beta invites. Will it be the same as the first batch in which 70% are early adopters and 30% from the broader community? Secondly, will we be able to reserve our in-game name or will it be on a first come first serve basis? And third, are we going to have character classes like assassins, magicians, knights, etc.?
Okay. So when you say you're going to invite more players, we are not saying that we're going to be just a second batch, but the idea is to invite more players as we see that our server it's supporting all players. So yeah, how that's going to be between the early adopters and the community, that's not being decided yet. I think based on the early adopter intention application, I think we would open more to the community because we have many players already early adopt served in this first part, and there is. And I want to stress again, there won't be a second batch, but we're gonna keep a flow of invites. So we're gonna announce that when we do that. Secondly, the name, there is no prevention of having the same nickname in the game. I think it could be, if you see that it would be a problem, maybe you can adopt something like Discord does with like a serial number, so we can save your name that you like to play with. And regarding classes, I don't see that much because I think it's these specialities of RPG is gonna be translated the skills you apply to your Devkin. So if you're starting using more magic skills, equipping more magic skills, that Devkin is gonna serve as a magician. Where if you use more like sneak and critical hit skills, that's gonna be more like assassin. So there won't be like specific classes per se, but you're gonna build that using your skills.
Okay, thanks for that, Sergio.
Okay.
For the next question from OB, how will earnings in the game take place?
Yeah, like we answered before, we had 3 streams of DVK earnings in the game, and we are planning to the next video after today to touch the first one that's gonna be the main for phase 1, and stay tuned for that. Probably it's gonna drop in 2 weeks or 3,
Okay.
just close to the closed beta.
Next question from Bisaya Exalted. Besides free packs, is there an in-game shop where we can specifically buy a training item? If so, will we use DPK to purchase those items?
Yes, that's gonna be answered later today, but shortly as there gonna be a shop or a store, and yeah, DVK is gonna be the coin to buy there. DVK is our main utility, so of the
We've
game.
got the video too.
Yeah.
Video today, kind of showing off the shop and how that all functions.
Yeah.
Actually, we are very excited to see the procreation.
Mm.
And then the next question is from Kismet from Vodianoy. When facing an opponent in the game, will they be random or will we be matched against one round the same power level as us? For example, if I'm a level 15, is there a chance I'll encounter an opponent higher than my level or far below it? Second, when burning NFTs to promote my Devikin, should I do it all at once or can I burn them all at a time? Finally, can I trade my training items to the other players?
Okay. So that's more regarding matchmaking, and that's more PvP, so more combat. So that's still in development. But I see that having a player much stronger or much weaker than it's not a good user experience. So the idea is to matchmaking the fair as possible in the game. When you burning the NFTs to promote your Devkin, you have to do it at once because promotion it's one atomic thing. So as soon as you get to your max level of current promotion, you have to promote to the next level to keep growing. And trade items, we are not planning that. We have in our to-do list as a guild to have like a gift system. So players could ask for a specific item, and maybe once a day, once a week, something like that, and players from the guild could give it to them, but not a straight trade system.
Okay. The next question is from Peto of Mythos. Will teams with low overall affinity Devikins still get earnings?
Yes, for sure. As I said, we have three systems plans for earns in the game, three different flows. Two of them are not requiring strong Devikins. One of them would be PvP, so in a like match overall, it counts, even though we have these different lower for weak Devikins streams, like I mentioned today, like fixed amount of overall affinity teams, or the Pauper tournament that only common Devikins can battle. But aside of that, we have regular PvE, like doing daily missions, and there's a third flow that doesn't require strong Devikins to earn in the game.
Okay. The next question will be from Fabictus III of Bodianoy. Will the inflation curve logic be the same for procreation cost? If so, will you be able to give the initial price assumption?
Yes, we are not following the NFT price curve. We are trying setting the price inside the game in DVK only, because since players are gonna earn in DVK inside the game, makes sense to round the economy around DVK. Well, aside of its dollar price. So the procreation, there's an increase over the number of procreations you're doing with your parents, but it's not based on dollars, so it's based in DVK only.
Okay, thanks for that, Sergio. I will pass the question to Gabriel.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, good morning and good evening. Our next question for Dark JP99: is there a game mode in the future in which you can assign groups of your Devikin to do a quest or expedition? I'm also wondering why DVK is still not registered in CMC or CoinGecko. Can you explain why?
Yes. So we do that game mode planned. It's not in the far future. That's in your white paper we call that scavenger missions, and then we rebrand it later to Void Adventures. That's gonna be available in phase 1. Since that requires adult Devkins, that won't be released in the day 1 of closed beta, but we plan to be in the next closed beta update. That's gonna be 2 weeks after the closed beta starts. So there will be during the closed beta soon. DVK is actually untracked assets in CoinMarketCap already. It's not tracked because we are not listed in a recognized exchange yet, because Clever is not recognized there yet. As soon as it gets recognized, that's going to become a full tracked asset. Same for CoinGecko. We applied once, but since it was not in a recognized exchange, I believe they didn't accept the application. As soon as Clever becomes a recognized exchange there, we are going to apply again to CoinGecko, and that should get listed there as well. But if you if you search for Devikins in CoinMarketCap, you're gonna see the asset page there.
Unfortunately, I think Gabriel's mic is.
Yes.
Hello.
Ross, could you take over?
Gabriel.
Hello. Okay.
Hey.
Hello.
Your
Can you
mic
hear
isn't
me?
really working too well, bud.
That's
Um,
unfortunate.
I can take over asking the questions from here if you'd like.
Yes,
Yeah,
Gabriel, please mute yourself.
Sorry for that.
Just mute yourself.
Okay. Can we proceed?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry for that, you guys. From AAA. Do you guys plan to list on other exchanges?
Yes, we do. We start talking to them, and probably as soon as we get listed in another, we're gonna announce that. But yeah, we plan to list in other exchanges, and we are have that in movement already.
Okay. Another question from War. Any time frame on when you expect a full launch?
Yeah, we released the update roadmap last Friday or no, this Monday. We planning to release on Q3 next Q1 next year. The exact date, it's gonna depend how our closed beta shows how stable is our server, because I think that's the main variable right now. It's how stable is our server. If you're fully happy with the results, then we're gonna release that as soon as possible. But yeah, we should expect Q1 for 2022.
Okay. Next question from
You couldn't wait because the software to hard mean there is no deadline, so we can keep that as software as much as we want, as long as we want. And as soon as the Clever blockchain release, and then we start the process moving to there, I don't see why you couldn't hard mint there. Yes, and trophy is high and it's getting higher every day.
Okay.
It's unfortunately.
Next question from Gray of Exalted. How did you guys come up with the concept of this project, and how did it come about? Was it a light bulb moment or an idea that slowly took form? Also, what are the major obstacles as well as milestones you guys have pushed through so far? And given the chance, what would you have done differently?
The concept of Devikins itself. So I started investing in cryptocurrency, and then I started studying blockchain technology, and I found that fascinating. Then I start checking that the how blockchain addressed the NFT. I said, okay, that's a really smart and kind of for free technology. For free, when it's is the system, it's already running for owning and exchange assets. And as I mentioned before, many of video games, you can see your inventory, your items as assets, in your character as assets. So the blockchain offers this out of the box way of management of transactions between players. So I said, why not do that? Then I started research the market, and that was like back in February. And then the game as the blockchain games was just starting over. We didn't have as many projects as we have right now. And then we had this idea when I found out about Axie, and it met a lot of checks we had as a day. I was kind of bummed a bit. I said, oh, okay, so they have that. Should we do that again? Then we started research and seeing where we could improve in other projects. That's why we proposed Devikins this way. Devikins, it's if everyone is paying attention how the other projects are going out there, Devikins trying to move away from all this system of whitelisting, just finish finite initial supply, and then following how the supply being controlled by from the initial genesis there. And our idea was to make something different and something more focused on fun and like a real game, because we felt that some of the projects by that time was more like a chore than a real game. It was more like a system of mining with just one layer of gamify on that. Regarding the milestones and obstacle and what I would do different, I would wait a bit more to to announce Devikins. I think we announced too early. We announced just when the development was starting. So, and game development is something that takes time. So we spent we had like 4 months of project with Devikins out there already, but without nothing to show, nothing to present. And people were saying, okay, you're not doing marketing about the game, but we had no content to that. And we might be wrong, but we don't see like marketing in just a product that has a PDF. And that's why we're kind of holding off on that. And that was a lesson learned that for our next project, probably we're going to have way more development beforehand, put it out there to the community. So we had the interaction is faster because I understand many I asked for patience because we kind of had this early announcement, too early announcement for Devikins, but we're getting there. We're getting a good spot. And
All right.
I think right now, if you had this knowledge before, we would have announced Devikins just in October, so we would have like a fresh new game now with all the contents we have.
Okay. This for the last question. I doubt if you can say this from Orca, and the question is, can you please say, "You're my little pogchom"?
Yeah, you are my little pogchom. I mean that, but I have no idea what that means.
Gabriel, Orca, you are not my little pogchamp. Not ever. No.
Wow, he just got denied.
At least he got what he wanted.
He just got denied, Orca.
But also, I think Gray, I don't know if this is the Gray in the chat right now. Gray's question also referred to kind of like the creative concept as well. I know a lot of people have curiosity regarding the general idea of Devikins, how the little kind of creatures came about. I think it was just kind of like a good little spark of Sergio sending one of his amazing MS Paint drawings to Elaine, our current lead.
Oh, for real?
Our art director.
Oh my
and
god, you
he
would
sent
not
her this
believe it.
glorious MS Paint drawing of, if you're familiar with the one concept art we have, of the Devikin lined up against the wall and kind of arms crossed, legs kicked out, spray cans right next to them.
I think that's worth a million.
Picasso-esque.
You could put like Sergio's concept and then Elaine's and the art.
Are we going to make Sergio's concept NFTs?
Yeah, I was about
We
to say,
could.
it deserves to be minted as an NFT, definitely.
Oh man.
We could mint Sergio's glorious MS Paint concept art and watch other people look at it and go,
personally,
what?
I think the void concept is my masterpiece.
Wasn't that just like two balls with a line like drawn connecting them to be a galaxy?
I was gonna say I have much respect for Elaine and how she interpreted that photo.
She's excellent. Oh, like the fact that Elaine took it from one thing to another. Do we have it on hand? And if we can flash it on stream, that would be excellent.
Yeah,
Sergio,
I
do you have it?
epic. I know where
That would
it
be
is.
epic.
Wait a minute.
Which
Sarah is finding it for us right now, so you guys can enjoy the absolute perfect Sergio MS Paint art.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Do they have there, or should I find here?
Yeah, it's definitely here. Wait. Elaine, I think, sent it to me before.
By the way, after we show off Sergio's art, we're going to show off the two pieces of art that were submitted as part of the story contest, but unfortunately, as a result of us only having 2 art submissions, we didn't tie them to the stories they were supposed to be submitted to in the first place. Instead, we're just judging them on their own.
Yep. Lilith, can you flash the lore arts? Okay, I think we have the first Myth 3.
Yeah, so this one was submitted to us from, I believe. Gosh, I lost my link. I'm so sorry. I'm absolutely sabotaging this meeting. This was submitted for Exalted Guild, this piece of art. So this is associated with the Exalted Guild's fantastic little story. So that is an alternate representation of the mint tree. I think it's pretty cool showing off the absolute grand scale of things in a completely different setting. We're going with this kind of kabuki classic Japan. Right, you get that old painterly-esque look. I'm a fan. And then do we have the second piece of art?
Yeah, second piece of art coming right up. There you go.
No, the second piece of art was submitted to us for Mythos Guild, and it actually takes... You can't see it in full on the stream. This is actually a gigantic piece. I'm talking humongous. 8K. And it is a piece of art that flows with the poem and prose itself, detailing the story and lining everything up. I think I see like a little representation of Goat the cat within the painting itself, so that's an immediate +1. But I think this is really cool as well. You have this artistic representation almost of an infograph, which I think is really, really cool, where it flows downward with the poem, with the prose, and moves along, showing off each major facet.
Okay.
I am a fan of both of these. Me and Sergio actually didn't sit down and talk about which one of these we preferred. Sergio, you hit me with which one you are a fan of, so we can decide the ultimate winner of this tiny little art contest.
If everyone agrees, since we have only 2 contents and the arts are good, we could split the pot. I think that would be a fair.
We could split the pot. I do really, really, really enjoy both for different reasons, but in equal ways.
I agree.
I like the contrast between the two pieces of simplicity and complexity. Like one piece goes for really straightforward, right? Like go for very different concepts, but they both execute on them very well. I think I would be perfectly content splitting the pot both ways.
I'd say we can give them 10,000 DVK each.
Well, congratulations to the both of you. You both get 10,000 DVK. Let's give another tiny silent round of applause that nobody can hear, but it's here for you.
Yeah. Following that, I could flash my art as well. So
yes,
I
Sergio's
I
void art,
it.
so we can see.
I found it. I sent
This is
it.
what everyone's
There
been
we
waiting
go.
for.
Yeah, that's what
This
my
is how Devikins started,
This is
everybody.
it.
Yeah,
This
That's
is
the
this
point.
was the root
Concept.
of it all.
Hats off to Sergio.
This
Yeah,
right
so-
here is where it all began.
So I
This is
even put Lord there.
The
You see,
void.
the land masses, they are not floating. They are just supported by chopsticks.
I still don't understand the chopsticks.
Yes, it's not it's not floating. So they are supported by this not ideal structure.
In the wise words of Orca, now that's a PogChamp.
I don't know.
That's some incredible art. I think we must all bow down to Sergio, although
that
unfortunately we
isn't the
cannot give
best
the art
of it.
award to Sergio since he is a developer. It would be very unfair, but
You can tell I'm a
we
programmer,
respect
right? By my
the
art.
Picasso-esque take.
We'll have more.
That's
of
not
that.
the best of it yet. There's another one.
Oh,
Oh,
where is it?
wanna see it.
regardless, I would like to know if any of you guys over here at Unix have any questions. I know that a few people, I believe, who are in this call currently had some things they want to ask. Hilas?
Yeah, I got one. From a fellow gamer to a fellow gamer, question for you, Sergio. Right, you mentioned Final Fantasy Tactics. It's also one of the games of my childhood. what are the games that inspired you or that inspired Devikins?
Well, some many spots there. I think this Gaia, it's one
Ooh.
of
Illusions
main
of Gaia?
reference.
Illusions of Gaia?
Disgaea.
This
Ah,
Gaia.
Disgaea. Ah, Disgaea.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This
Okay,
game,
got it.
yeah. It's a turn-based game, and I like the writing, like how absurd things are, and I think
Mhm.
I have that transpiring in Devikins as well. I'm a huge fan of Dark Souls. I think from Software, all these lore and mystery they do, and all these scenarios like epic ones, I think I kind of try bring that. So even though my art was not that clear, Elaine put that Dark Souls vibe in your Mythingard art, and I really like these epic, huge landscapes, and I think those two are inspiration in game side. And I really like the H.P. Lovecraft world. That's why I have all these tentacles. We even had an accident yesterday in the art side. Elaine was looking for some inspiration, and she
Oh
had
no
this
no
issue.
no 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 no.
No, okay, okay. I won't say that. Okay, you guys can
That
link the
just makes
dots.
us even more curious. Come on.
Yeah. If you started, you need to finish it, man. So.
Yeah. No, yes. I would say it's when you mix words like Japanese art, and we try to have like some H.P. Lovecraft theme with tentacles, and we cannot search on that in Google.
You
We're
can't
not
Google
gonna
search
get-
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of our artists very nearly made that mistake.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think those are the three main pillars for Devikins. And the RPG, I'm a turn-based guy, so I'm really like strategy, and I think that we're going to bring that to combat. So it's going to be a lot of moving pieces. Probably might be complex to many players, but the idea is to have like a soft ground where you can not be for min max players. They're gonna have like a good time having the best team, all things getting together. But for like a regular player, they can just, okay, I like this skill, I'm gonna just bring that and have a good time as well.
Oh, awesome. If it's okay, I have one more question, if that's okay for you,
Sure.
from my side. So first of all, when you mentioned the scare, now I see the resemblance and I see the inspiration. So it makes complete sense. Thank you for that. And the second, in the future, in the gameplay itself, will there be some kind of secrets that you can unlock by just playing the game?
Yes.
And I'm referring to some things. Maybe you remember Final Fantasy Tactics, getting Cloud, Beowulf, and so on.
Yes, like a storyline gameplay for mobile game, it's a bit hard of doing that. But I think like a Dark Souls inspiration, we're gonna have like lore in form of like items description or some adventure description. So you're gonna explain more about the void, about the origins in that. And it's a mobile game, so you always plan to have more content, and not just feature, but content to push further the game. So I don't see Devikins like releasing, let's say, combat there and then stopping there. We're gonna always keep good content. Yeah. And
I think
metaverse is a big thing right now. So yeah, if we find like a natural way of making that into Devikins, like lands and stuff like that, I think why not? But I don't want to force it. I don't want to say, okay,
of course,
since everyone's doing land, let's do land because land it's mainstream now. We don't know for that, but yeah, it's open to that. Devikins, like, it's a living project there, and we are just in the beginning.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
also difficult to inject that kind of thing into a mobile title. With a single player title, it's a lot more accessible because you have the option of having kind of branching story paths and stuff like that, far more so than you would in mobile. There's a fundamental design structure difference between the two kinds of games, especially when you're trying to make things available to everybody, right? I mean, like, if you have a secret mission included in the game, but then some players can't do it, right?
True.
Yeah.
You have this odd trade-off, and you have to kind of try and figure out whether even not it's worth juggling into the mix. And Sergio has goat, so all bless, all praise
Goat's
goat.
here. He's looking for his morning morning.
Evax
Yeah.
asked us, do you think Moon Labs and Clever will have more projects in the future? I mean, like,
Yes.
everybody's always got multiple things planned. Like, right now, we don't have any new projects planned, but we're absolutely not averse to the idea that in the future, we'd like to continue to work on projects in the same vein as Devikins or maybe something entirely different, right? You've always got to be looking forward towards the future. But it's definitely a bit too early right now for us to be thinking about that, considering we're just hitting beta in a month.
Yeah. We're looking for that coming together.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions from anybody on the panel, or are we all wrapped up?
I think we are.
I think we are.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think we have one last art here.
We do.
Whose it is?
Yeah.
I wonder.
Can we flash it?
Who did this? I did
I don't
the left
know.
one. The left one.
That
I did that.
That is Sergio's amazing art that conceptualized everything and was interpreted by Elaine.
Nice.
Actually, this concept was made by Susan in the early project before Elaine started the project. But yeah, this is likewise. They tried to recreate my masterpiece, but they failed. They only put colors. That was a nice touch, but yeah.
Hey, it will be worth a lot in the future, man.
Like Icarus, they flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
This would sell as an NFT.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're
we do
definitely
have
keeping this.
we do have a third a new we do have another one that's Elise background. We do have a concept for that as well. I don't know if that's been shared already, but if not, we can definitely do that.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
we're
go
getting
ahead.
towards the end here.
Yeah.
We're kind of just yammering on now at this point. It's turned less Q&A and more, how are you guys doing? How's the weather? We grabbing a drink after this, or?
Oh, it is
yeah.
Friday
11
night
PM
here. It
from
is
where I'm at.
amazing to have a drink
It is
right
7:30 in the morning.
Serge,
over here
you're
in
asking
Canada.
for goat reveal. The
Goat has
cat
run
is-
away, unfortunately. Goat's gonna go do goat things, such as take over the world, make potions. Oh, no, he's back. Eat food.
and just be absolutely
There you go,
awesome.
guys. All right.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
just one last announcement. A clever guy pinging me here. He said they are offering 100% rebate for GFK purchase from Clever Exchange. So there we go.
Nice.
100% rebate.
Yeah.
I'm
I believe
sorry,
it's
say
fee
that one more
rebate.
time?
Yeah. In Clever Exchange, they are offering 100% rebate from DVK purchase. So I believe DVK Trading, since it's the Clever Exchange, I believe they're giving 100% fee rebate.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
There we go.
Awesome. Well, now we're at that point where it's the awkward, well, I'll hang up first. Well, no, you'll hang up first. Well, maybe I'll hang up first, but you never really press
So
the button.
before anything else, though, is there like any other thing, like one, closing remarks or anything that you guys want to say?
Nothing really. I mean, like, I hope everybody has a good weekend. We're going to be putting out the video later today with the shop and procreation screen and discussing that. So we're also going to be talking about hard minting today as well. Me and Sergio have some announcements to make regarding that. We're going to be putting that out on Twitter later in an hour or two or so. We just need to get things ironed out, but we will have an update today regarding that. Was there anything else on the itinerary, Sergio, that you wanted to let people know about, or otherwise are we good?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, well, for us, we just wanted to thank everybody who supported and participated this event, especially the guilds and the community who pitched in together. Everything, all the prizes and all of the rewards that we are giving away is all community gifted. So the Devikins community came together, contributed, and basically worked together to put this event and everything. So thank you, everybody, and thank you to the devs as well for, basically just keeping up with us and going along with everything.
Just running along madly behind you guys like Scooby-Doo, where the villain is chasing the person through the hall and another guy's behind it.
We're basically just thinking things up, and you guys are just going along with it. So thank you.
Thanks also, sir. Also from my side, first of all, thank you to the whole community, to the whole Devikin community. We as a joint effort, or joint forces together. I really like what you guys stand for. I like your vision. I like your inspirations, Sergio. I really thank you for that, and that we are part of this. Also, and of course, and I need to do it. I need to do a shout out to the, first of all, Devikin whole community, but as well also to Unix as well. We had a really awesome. We launched our own token. Guys, we had a really successful token launch today, and I'm really happy and proud of all the team, and I'm literally celebrating it currently now with you guys. So thank you, everybody.
And then after the call is over, you can go grab a beer.
Yeah, there we go.
Or we can continue work. But yeah, that's
grab a beer, then continue work.
Amazing. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
See you
great
guys.
one.
You all have a great
Cheers.
night.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Unix.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
The life from yore. Once, in the land of void, where there is nothing to be found but emptiness, no movements, no anything, just air sweeping through the vast nothingness. Its terrains formed by continuous quakes, hurling winds, and thunderstorms, as the ground shook with a continuous beat, making rocks and lands to fall. A hole grew big enough to make you shudder, a void, with a land at its center. The center, a great platform can be seen, and at its middle, a mysterious tree stood still. The mint tree, whose history is but told by a poem, encanted by winds of yore. The emptiness sowed 2 sprouting seedlings, bearing in its wings 2 mystic saplings, nurtured by the deserted surroundings. Years to years, they grew with such lightings. They eloped with mystic magic, turned one. The magical mint tree formed 2 to 1. Threads of silver and gold illuminates, afloat in tempest, it anticipates. Some magical fruits and flowers it bore. Tragic boredom it felt from yore to lore. From bearing fruits and flowers it yearned more. Blossomed a creature known as Overlord. As the magical tree surfaced, it began to procreate a new life. From the unique fruit it bore, the first ever Devikins saw light. Renowned as first of its kin, the creature overlord. The tree, by lonesome and boredom, bore some more, all of which was adopted by the void's first overlord. Soon they found a new way to life, 'tis to procreate with one another, to bloom life. It caused the emergence of ancestries with different personalities, making one differ from the other, as their genes are passed or mutates. Their eyes, the hair, the mouth, and their ears, most with horns, but they're not to be feared. The Lunarians are pale color of white, as the Ogrins is a flesh peachy sight. Glycians, the blue-skinned one, while the chorus a lighter purple yam. Last, and the 5th, will be the Marishes, who are greenish of like. All were skilled, but for a very few. Their growth is of sudden, shrewd, and advance. From this, they form the Council of Eldritch, that involves the few who's like no other. A Glycian became the first member of Eldritch, bore the idea with a Lunarian, whom became the second. And hereon, then, they pledge away their rights in blossoming new life. Their numbers grew, and guilds were molded. It opened doors for groups unsorted. They all aspire to be overlords, a start of a new era for the new and old. The life from yore. Once, in the land of void, where there is nothing to be found but emptiness, no movements, no anything, just air sweeping through the vast nothingness. Its terrains formed by continuous quakes, hurling winds, and thunderstorms, as the ground shook with a continuous beat, making rocks and lands to fall. A hole grew big enough to make you shudder, a void, with a land at its center. The center, a great platform can be seen, and at its middle, a mysterious tree stood still. The mint tree, whose history is but told by a poem, encanted by winds of yore. The emptiness sowed 2 sprouting seedlings, bearing in its wings 2 mystic saplings, nurtured by the deserted surroundings. Here's 2 yins, they grew with such lightings. They eloped with mystic magic, turned 1. The magical mint tree formed 221. Threads of silver and gold illuminates, afloat in tempest, it anticipates. Some magical fruits and flowers it bore. Tragic boredom it felt from yore to lore. From bearing fruits and flowers it yearned more. Blossomed a creature. No.
And it is my honor, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome you to the Unix Guild token launch for this year. And this is our very first face-to-face event. And we are really excited to share this moment with you. This is a very important milestone as we celebrate Unix Guild's success.